Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. So my name is Jeff. I am with the sales team with IDX Broker, and I've also got Gretchen with me, who's also part of the sales team. She will be off screen, off audio. She's going to be answering any questions that you guys have during this segment. If you have any questions, whether it's pertaining to what I'm currently talking about or another question that I'm not immediately in, she can also help answer those. She'll also let me know if there's anything that's relevant to what I'm speaking about, and I can elaborate a little bit more as these go. We are not going to be doing a slideshow. This is actually going to be me going through the dashboard with you, switching a couple of screens just to show you how to find out more of this information as well. So we're going to kind of break it down. It's going to be a fairly quick one, but then we'll open it up for general questions towards the end. But like I said, don't hesitate to send in those questions anytime during the webinar. She'll get those flagged and we'll get those answered for you. So today we're going to go over lead capture and management with IDX Broker. So we have several different things to go over. So we're going to, one, show you how to capture the lead, some of the tools that you can capture the lead with, how to send your thank you page, some of the email settings that are getting sent out, the registration rules and the credentials. So we're just going to kind of flow through all this kind of stuff. You will notice for some of you that have been with us for a while, we now have a new dashboard. We are rolling out several new things. So the design got changed. A lot of the stuff got put on the left side. Bear with us. Things are rolling out in stages. We've got new things coming out that's going to make things easier, better tracking, just easier drag and drop style stuff. So it's going to be very cool towards the end of this year. So rolling out in stages, but let's get started with our lead capture. So first thing we're going to go to is the biggest part is our sign up page. Over on the left-hand side, we have our lead section, and we're going to run into our lead registration. So this is going to be the very first part. So giving us the ability to force or request registration at any time on any number of page visits of IDX. So a search page, results page, map search page, listing pages, and photo gallery. When our pop-up modal shows up after any number of those, whether it's going to be a requested registration or forced registration, you have a couple of different options. So some of the things in here are going to be platinum only, and I'll point those out, but then Lite is also going to have everything else besides for the specific things that I point out on this one here. So first off is going to be the ability to use social media logins for your clients. So when this pop-up modal shows up, it's going to give your clients the ability to fill out a standard form, which is available on Lite and Platinum. But with our Platinum only, it does enable the ability for your clients to use their social media credentials. The two that it's going to allow them to use is going to be Facebook and Google accounts. Not Google Plus anymore, just regular Google accounts. So it kind of cleans that up a little bit. Basically what it's going to do is pop up two icons. Your client can then click it. It will grab the information that you also have inside this form. First name, last name, email address, phone number. If it's there, comments and that kind of stuff is all going to be available to pull in there as well. The next thing we have is CAPTCHA. So you can do CAPTCHA on lead registration. You should mostly be familiar with this. This is where you're going to say, I'm not a robot. You're going to go select several images that have like a bus on them or traffic lights, or if it has business front. So just to verify so that you're going to have less spam and you got somebody that's actually on your website that is looking for some information. On the sign up form, you have the ability to change and add as many fields as you would like. So this is not building out an entire new form. It's just simply on this pop-up modal that's going to show up this little window, allow you to add additional things. By default, that comes with its first name, last name, and email address. You can add phone, comments. If you have a multi-user account, you can put this drop down in. This is actually going to recognize the agents that are already assigned within the account. So it's automatically going to generate those agents for you, and they'll have a drop down menu of all those agents. So you can actually change the name of this too, where it says assigned agents. You can say like preferred agent, whatever you want. Editing that type of a thing is actually super easy. We're going to do assigned agents, and we can go into our input label and put like preferred. We'll keep it that, and now it's going to show up preferred agent. So you can customize the display of these. You can make any of these fields a required field. That's very simple to do. Inside any one of these, if we wanted to make phone number so it's not required, up at the top, simply just select required, save your changes. It is no longer going to have an asterisk on it, forcing that client to go ahead and do that. Any of these can be rearranged depending on your personal preference, where you want to move it. If you want to remove anything, it's as simple as clicking on the trash can. It's gone, save your changes. changes, it's there. One other platinum only feature is going to be SMS alerts. Currently, these are set up to be for the agent that whenever a lead is captured on the website, it's going to send a SMS, a text message to your phone. You'll also receive, as a standard with Lite, you're going to get an email notification. So you're actually going to be double notified. Not necessarily a bad thing, because as many email boxes as we all have, we all get spam stuff. So we kind of pass through. Plus, we're also getting about 500 different emails per day, where text messages are a little bit less. All you have to do is click opt-in yes, put in your phone number, save your changes. You'll start receiving those as well. Phase 2 and 3 down the road is going to allow your clients to opt in for that. So we're still working towards that. Like I said, many new features coming. Just hold on tight. They will be showing up. On your thank you page, you've got, I'm not going to save any changes. You have the ability for sending your lead an email to where they have to verify that account. So once they fill this information out, they're going to get an automatic email update. It's going to get them 7 days, or it's going to expire. You have the option to put a header message in this. So it's going to say, welcome to your new demo-Jeff True account. This is basically going to be anything you guys want to put in there. Demo-Jeff True is the name of my account, my display name on it. So anything you want it to be, you can change it. You can even come in here, directly customize it and put in your own subheader message. So when that gets sent out, it's going to be towards the top there as well. If you wanted to redirect to a different page after sign up, you can do that as well. Put in your click to continue, and then after sign up is going to redirect to a different domain. If you have any tracking cookies where you're wanting to manage and see where your leads are coming from, what's being used, whether it's Google, whether it's Facebook, any other type of source that you want to put in here, you'll add in the code inside here. It will save that, and you will be reported back to that on your CRM that you're using. On the email settings, you can require that lead verification, yes or no. So that's kind of an option that we've talked about. That is both Lite and Platinum. Email verification subject line. So you can change what you want just the subject line to be. If you want to modify the entire message, you can do that as well. Just select the custom radio button, add in your own custom message. So you have lots of ability to customize each of these that are hitting your client right as they get registered within your account. You can change up the greeting of that, so dear first name or dear first name and last name, or whatever you want to do. If you want to allow auto logins from emails, you can do that as well. So basically, once an email gets sent to that client and they click on that, going back to your website, it's automatically going to log them into their what's called My Listings Manager. That My Listings Manager is going to display any of their saved searches, any of their saved properties, so that they can track all of that. You'll also see all of that on the back end of the client side as well, so you can see what's there and what they're doing. A good question just came up right as we're in this topic. It's going to be, where do I get lead tracking code from? That's going to be whether you're using your Google Analytics, you're logging into your Google account. You could be doing cookies, whatever it might be, from other various sources that are available. If you've got questions as far as that type of stuff, like grabbing that exact code, whatever it's going to be, you can contact our support team, and those guys can also assist you with that kind of stuff as well. We're going to skip over CRM integration because it's done a little bit differently. Top Producer is still available, so if you are running a Top Producer account, you can just select yes, you want to add Top Producer to your account. It'll generate your username and password for you and start communicating with your existing Top Producer account. Since this was developed a long time ago, there are several other CRMs out there now, and you can also sync those accounts with the API. You can also do it with a Zapier, but you can also do it with email parsing, so lots of different stuff. Next tab is our cleanup tab. So if you wanted to go in here and kind of clean things up after it's been a certain amount of days, 120 or 240, you can do that. So it just kind of removes them. Not really sure why you want to do that, because that client may come back in 5-6 years. Who knows? Just keep it there, or if you do want to keep up a little bit tidier information, you can do that as well. Next is going to drop us into the global registration rules. This is where you have the ability to force or request registration, again, like what we were talking about earlier, on search pages, map search pages, results pages, details pages, and also your photo galleries. So you have total control when you want to capture these leads by force or request registration. Mine's currently set up on results and details pages here. So we have request registration is what I have selected. I want it to be recurring, and I want to do it every 2. So I'm going to let somebody look at 2 properties. After they're done with that second one, going into the next one, they will not be able to look at it until they register. But with it being a requested registration, I'm going to just keep doing this every 3rd property. So look at 2, request it. Look at 2, request it. On a forced registration, you can run these simultaneously. Let's say if we're doing 2, 4, 6, we'll go 8 here. So I'm going to request, and then I'm going to force it on the 4th attempt. So the forcing means that if I don't capture that lead, or that lead does not give me any information, I'm not going to let them go past the results pages. they're literally going to be kicked back until they do it. Once they try it again, it's going to pop up again because we've reached that stage. I'm going to turn mine off because I don't want to set up the forced registration. You can select the default message, which is what these are right here. You can also throw in your own custom message if you would like. So you have the ability to type in your own message, put in your contact information. You also have the ability, I've seen one client do it before, where they've actually created a YouTube video welcoming their clients to their landing page, explained what capturing the lead is going to do. They've saved that video into YouTube. They've grabbed the YouTube embed script and they've gone into the HTML section and literally put in the HTML source. That's super simple because YouTube pretty much does everything right directly for you. So all it is just a matter of adding it into it. And then it's got the little frame within there that actually stays right there. It doesn't redirect you out and plays that little video. So it was kind of a cool little thing. Like I said, not many people do it, but you do have that option. You can run simultaneously on forced and request registration on each of these. So results pages can run those. Details pages can also run it on a different level. So now you can do it like, oh, I'm going to let people look at 1, but then I want to go ahead and force it on 3. So depending on where you're at, how aggressive it needs to be, you have absolutely total control over all of this. Again, being able to change what the custom message is. And if you wanted to redirect it to a third-party website for registration, you have that ability too. You'll select this and you're going to put in that URL there. So it's open to you. Do as you like. We're not going to force you. We're not going to make you do anything you don't want to do. Try to keep it as open as we can for what we've got. The credential email. So we're going to get out of here and say this. So this is our new one. This has kind of been updated. It's a little bit cleaner looking. You got everything that you're going to see what's on here. So you have that ability though to go in here and modify it and save your changes. So you can choose, like lead name, lead username. We kind of help with some of the coding as far as like how to do it, but basically how in order to go and fetch like the first name or the lead username or the lead password and apply it. You can choose, what to put where, but we're going to also help put in the brackets that's basically going to be a code in order to put that in there for you. And if you wanted to, you can also change the subject line. So you can also modify this, put your company name, put your name, anything you'd like to put in here, you do have that absolute control. Next thing we're going to run into is contact routing. So this is going to limit some people. There's hundreds of accounts that we have that are single user account rather than multi-user accounts. This is generated for multi-user accounts. Team, which is 2 agents and more, and then our office account, which is 3 agents and more. So we run in tiers for our office accounts. We've got 3 to 10, 11 to 50, 51 to 100, broken down. Very simple to get this going. So contact routing will either need to be enabled or disabled. And then you have the 2 different types. You've got the core fields and round robin. These can be broken down to where they can be just core fields, or they could be a just round robin, or it can be a core fields with round robin. So you've got a couple of different options as far as that go. If you're on an office account, and you do disable this, obviously it's not going to let us change any of this. On the disabled, it's going to send all the leads to the primary agent or the primary broker that's on and running this account. When they do that, they will actually have to go in and manually assign that agent or that lead to a specific agent, which we'll get to that a little bit later. On these core fields and round robins that we have, we can actually manage the contact routing, which is right over here. And we're going to come in and create a contact rule. So by default, there's going to be nothing here. So we're going to add a new rule just so you can kind of see. So if you have an agent that's going to work in a specific city, we have this as well. So you got the cities, counties, states, zip codes, multiple listing services. So we'll select cities. This agent is going to work in Abbeville and 29 Palms, Annabelle. You'll select those. If it's going to be by price, you got that, low price, high price, minimum square foot, maximum, and acres as well. In order to add these, you say you want like this person, I want this person, and this person to be on the round robin list. So any leads that come into these specific cities between a certain price range or higher than this price range or lower than this price range, it's then going to only give a round robin between these 2 agents. If you have an office account of say 100 and you're running in 2 separate MLSs, you can also break them down by MLSs. I'm going to drop this out real quick. So we got multiple listing services. So for my account, I have 60 or 70 on here for doing my tests. So I'm going to go hit my control key and I'm going to assign one agent to Metro List and Carrots. Okay, I'll put my low price, max price. If you leave these blank, it's going to do just based off of the MLS. But again, go in here and add that agent to it. So any leads that come in from Carrots or Metro List is going to go to this lead only. These leads will not be associated with it because they could be part of a different MLS. So there's your contact contact rules. So you kind of got control over that and everything you guys want to do. Hopefully we're going at a decent speed. We're already into 19 minutes and I got a lot more to cover. Lead management. So we're going to run right up. This one here is going to be your general overview. So you can see what lead is captured, who they are, when they signed up. I'm going to narrow this down to mine. So right now, we've got who the lead is. So I signed up 4/12 of 2018 at 1:15. Here's my name. Here's my email address. You've got saved searches and saved properties. So this is kind of just a general overview of the client. So you can see what they have saved, if they've got properties, if it's a verified account. You've got the last update. So this is going to be the last time email was sent out to that client. So a property update was sent out. We have a bracket down here that says 8 viewed. 8 viewed means that I have clicked on 8 individual properties from those email addresses that are being sent out. Go over that more a little bit later. Last activity means that this is the last time that they were actually on the website and looking around at properties. If you have a multi-user account and you have several agents on the account, it will show you who the lead is assigned to and what agent that it is. We can also dive in a little bit further with this. So you got the traffic history. So it's going to show you all the traffic from referring URL to the landing page, when it was. For instance, if you got one lead that is on 2 separate devices. So one could be a mobile device, one could be a computer. It will recognize the IP address once they sign into them. So you could see 2 IP addresses or even 3 if it's coming from an entirely different area. They can still log in and access all that. If you click on these, it'll actually take you to the results page so you can see what page that they were looking at. This one here, they were looking at J City homes for sale. So this was a saved. No, it's actually a performed search from the client. So basically what you can do is click on each one of these. It will pull them all up, also giving you the referring URL for what's on there. When it does display, it's going to give you results of all these pages that they were on, including details pages. Now I got my map on the left of that area and then my results. Thumbnails. Property updates. So these are going to be of the emails that were sent to me. These are the 8 individual properties that I clicked on from those emails. The majority of these are all expired because I did them a long time ago. If there's any specific properties that a client has saved, if there's any new information that has been updated into the MLS, whether it's a price change, whether it's an open house information or a status change, it's going to email that client letting them know that that listing is no longer available or what the updated information is about. If the listing is still active, it will be displayed in here as well, so they can actually click going to the details page. So the client can do that on their own side through My Listings Manager, and then the agent can also do it on the back end of IDX Broker. Saved searches. This is where clients are going to be able to perform a search, or they can use one of your saved links, your pre-existing searches that you have, be able to save a search based off of this criteria, and then anytime a new listing comes into the MLS, it will send them an automatic email update. These email updates are going to have your subject line, which we talked about earlier, on there. It is going to be coming from a no-reply at idxbroker.com. However, you have the ability to have a reply to email address, sending it back to your email address. So if they do happen to hit reply, it is going to go to the agent. It's not going to be going to IDX Broker. That lead is yours. We want them to go to you. Save searches, so they can come in here and create their own save searches. If they do, obviously don't name it, not going to have anything, but they can come in here and do, Frank, they want an RV house in 97401 and 97402, Minneapolis, spring condos, Southwest Eugene with the city view. Kind of narrow it down. Doing this actually kind of helps. And if you have a client that just does a no name, I would suggest coming in here and editing that. And it's very simple to do. So if there's no name, it's just got double click to add. We'll do this and you can name it, hit enter. And it now dropped it down below, but there it is. It's now in there. So it kind of helps when your clients get these automatic email updates. Also for you as the agent to kind of keep track of those leads that are getting those. You can see the areas that are actually starting to get some listings. So it's going to be very good for you. You have the ability to create your own lead. So if a lead goes to the website, they can fill out their own form. However, let's say you run across somebody within the streets, go to an event, you're talking to somebody, they're like, oh yeah, I'm interested in a house. You get their information, get their first name, their email address. Those are the 2 core things you need just to get this started. Add the first name, add their email address, boom, create their account. It auto verifies it, so it's done. It's because you were the one that entered it. And then what you'll need to do is once you have that lead, you go create this one, and then over here, you can actually just go ahead and, so all you gotta do is click on the envelope. It'll send them the credentials. They will actually be able to log in, because typically you're going to probably put that you don't have to log in to get it from your email. So that way they can log into the My Listings page. It's actually going to be branded and look just like your website, and that's going to send it over to them. If you have leads leads from another source, you can export that lead via CSV and then import them. Kind of keep in mind though, saved searches don't typically work across multiple different IDX vendors. They do run separate queries. The long tail URL strings are a little bit different. So you can import them, but the main thing you're going to get is first name, last name, address, city, zip code, phone number, email, that kind of stuff. But keep in mind, saved searches, saved listings, those things could be a little bit different as far as like how those are going to come in. If you're using anything for a drip campaign outside of just like managing our leads, if you want to use MailChimp or something like that to be able to do that, you can actually export your leads via CSV. You'll select them, you'll get their first name, last name, email address, phone number, whatever you want, dump them into MailChimp, write up your little campaign or letter you want to send out, and go ahead and do it that way. So it's pretty simple to do the exports of those leads. As far as getting your leads into other CRMs, there's a couple of different options that you can do. Every account is going to have an API key. So you have the ability to use this API key and sync it to another CRM. So there's a lot of CRMs that are out there that use our API to do that. And then there's also some that only use email parsing. When you come into our website, if you go over to help and hover over integrations, and then we're going to see CRM, we'll click on this. So Zapier is available, which there's a lot of Zaps that have been set up, and there's more and more that just keep coming in. So right now, as far as like what's set up directly within the system is Top Producer, which we were looking at just a little bit earlier. You've got Emerge, IMAX CRM, Leader CRM, Wise Agent, Agent Desks. These ones are all done with API integration, so it's going to get a little bit more detailed information, probably update it maybe a little bit quicker, faster. We have Follow-Up Boss, Infusionsoft, Contactually, and LionDesk. These are all set up with email parsing. Some of these ones here that are set up with email parsing, they actually have an integration with Zapier as well. So when you go into this one here, last time I looked, we had about 70, and it looks like we are 73. So we've added just a couple more. Some other people have added a couple more. But there's several different ones. So LionDesk, Follow-Up, MailChimp, Contactually, RealVolve, BombBomb. You can just scroll through this list. If there's any one of these that you want to go ahead and use, Salesforce is a pretty big one. 19 integrations. You just click on this, and we're going to go ahead and get started on it. So you just connect IDX leads to Salesforce. Once you get started on this, it's going to go ask you for that API key. We'll go grab that API key, and it's going to start linking it together. Once you start using more Zaps, obviously you're probably going to need to increase your account with Zapier, just because, which is not a bad thing. It's meaning you're most likely getting more leads, making more money. So you might have to dump a little bit of money in there to get that set up and running. Inside of our control panel, we now have our messaging center. The messaging center is going to be kind of cool. So you can kind of keep track of what leads are getting it, when they're getting it, if they're even doing anything with it. So we can see at me as the agent on this account. Here's mine. So the agents can actually receive a property summary. This is going to be a daily summary that's going to tell me what of my leads received property updates that day. So every day I'm going to get these, but I can also see what's out there, what's getting it. So got Mary, Micah, Jeff. These guys are the ones that are receiving them. You can see what has been the status of it, whether it's delivered, and if any of them are open, and then if anybody has clicked. So this is going to notify me if somebody is actually clicking on properties. That's probably a hot lead. You kind of want to keep on that. So it's kind of a good idea to kind of keep an eye on the message center that's on here. You can also put the message center up on your home screen so that you can kind of keep track of that rather than going to, messages and message center. So it'll always pop up there. In order to see these, all you gotta do is double click it. And this is going to be just a broken down email of what was there. So this just says, hey Jeff, there was 3 leads that received property updates. I did myself. And the ones that I got were for my safe searches for Minneapolis Test and Southwest Eugene with City View. There's 2 new properties, 1 new property. Mary got a one that was going to be for safe search number 1 for inside RMLS. She received 57. Same thing went for Micah. He got safe search by number 1, RMLS, 57 searches. Looks like they probably got the same search. If you wanted to, you can go view the results on this. This will actually go to the results page of that specific property for you. Again, SMS, keep an eye out for the future. As far as like what it's going to look like for the individual agents, so we have new templates coming down the road. Keep an eye out for those. We're going to set up some information and notifications about these. Until then, you can use custom subheaders. Custom subheaders allow you to add your own logo. Mine's the beach with 2 chairs. Here's my company name. Here's my company phone number. Here's a brief description about my company, that I want to work for you. Here is search number 1 that was sent out to Micah. There was 70 some odd properties, I believe that it said, or displaying the first 5 results, sorry. So you got a general synopsis of some of these properties. You can click into them and go. So if Micah were to click on one of these, it's going to show me that that one was clicked on. And again, any one that you're going to receive, all is going to be within that message center. A summary that's sent out, so we're all good. So we're about to finish up here. So something that has recently been launched out by us is going to be what's called soft leads. It's a new feature that was recently added by IDX Broker for the ability for any active, verified or unverified leads without safe searches to receive emails, whether they have signed up or not. So it's a very soft one, it's very opening, just to kind of see the engagement on that of some of the properties just based off of what their saved listings are, or actually, I'm sorry, what details pages they're looking for, or what searches that they are performing. We did track this. We did get an analyze of it and see what our numbers were. It turned out much better than we thought. We actually only had, I think it was 2% unsubscribed. That's huge because we did it off of a 1-week period and there was a lot of accounts, a lot of emails that went out. The conversion rate for somebody that actually received those email addresses and converted to a full-on lead for those agents was almost 18%. It was like a tick under 18. That's pretty big for a soft lead that wasn't very aggressive. We tried to keep it very toned down. This process will run every Friday, and if a current active lead does not have any saved searches linked to their account, the IDX Broker system will look through the lead's traffic for the last 60 days and determine the results pages that were viewed. From there, the system will use these results to suggest properties and send emails to that lead as their results. You'll also be receiving the notification inside the message center that you're also getting that stuff as well. So our initial launch of that soft lead, we did kind of keep it on a low wraps just to kind of see. We wanted to see what the feedback was going to be on the client side of things because we didn't want to do a major push on it and see a lot of negative on it. But however, we're going to keep kind of things as we have set. We are receiving a good response out of them. And we're getting some compliments from our agents like, hey, I didn't even do anything, but I got captured some organic leads. That was awesome. So it's been a great turnout of that so far. I want to cover one last thing that we're going to have in here, and that's going to be under our global preferences settings. Global preferences. I still get fumbled around on my stuff over here sometimes. So inside of our email settings, when we spoke earlier, all emails are going to get sent out from a no-reply at idxbroker.com. Here's where you can put in your reply to address. So this is where you're going to want to put in your main email address that you're going to be working and communicating with your clients to. So that way, if they do hit a reply on accident, which is going to happen, we see it all the time, it's actually going to go back to you. If you'd want, you can set up a carbon copy of every email address that gets sent out, or you can do the CC of the summary. So you've got individual emails that get sent out. You can keep it at none. So if you don't want to know about anything, not sure why you would want to do that, or you can get your summary for that. You have the option to send out property updates. These can go out daily or weekly or never. Not sure why again. Daily, so if you do this on a daily, if a property comes in and that property for that saved search is going to be sent out that day. If that client has a saved search and there's no properties that come in for 3 or 4 days, they're not going to get an email saying that, hey, no property showed up. They're just not going to get an email from you until that 4th day, until that new listing shows up within there. So very simple to do. You also have the ability to add in your own signature on here. So you can put in your headshot, you can put your contact information, anything on the bottom here, depending on what you want to do, you have that option to put it in here. You also have your HTML editor that's inside this. So now that custom header that we were looking at, the beach with my chairs, that's my header. There's a bunch of listings that are within there, and then my signature down at the bottom for that. So you've got that ability. You can also set up for CC on your recipients. So if you have a husband and a wife, 2 people working together, it could be anything you want. One person signs up for an account, but you want that other person to also receive email notifications about there. So instead of creating 2 accounts, you can actually just add a CC or BCC address in here. Both of you will receive those automatic email updates. I've got all my stuff covered. Went just a little bit over. How are we doing on questions? Do we need anything brought up? All questions have been answered right directly via Gretchen to that person asking the questions. So I'm going to open it up just a couple of minutes. I don't want to go off too long. If you do have some questions that you want to see on screen that's relevant to this webinar, let me know and I will go through it. If not, we will go ahead and get things closed up for you. So I'll hold off for just a moment on you guys and we'll go from there. So we've got a great question in here. It's like, where's the training videos for the new portal? I'm assuming the new design that we have right here. Everything that we've got within this is actually going to be within our knowledge base. We're updating our videos as we go along. There's just so much content that we had out there that was a little bit more overwhelming than we expected. So we are getting those done on a daily as we can and pushing them out. But our knowledge base is up to date with the new designs, how to do stuff. We've also taken a lot of stuff from our learning center and dumped it into our knowledge base. For instance, like if you wanted to learn about, your saved links. So our saved links creation, if you dump into here, we're going to have the new designs, new images, how to do it. And then we're trying to add on the bottom of all of these little videos that does show how to create all of these individual tasks. And we're trying to keep them all under 2 minutes. So we're trying not to overwhelm you guys with a webinar like this, 30, 40 minutes now, but with good content that's a little bit quicker and more, straight to the point. Overall, do you recommend Impress plugin for WordPress or embedding code? I've done and heard opinions both ways, deep content, hyperlocal IDX pages. So that's kind of it's way off topic from this in a way, but however, it is my favorite topic because hyperlocal pages, you have to have them. That is the only way to really benefit yourself over and above Zillow, Trulia, because you cannot beat them on individual listing properties. My suggestion is you create as many of these pages. We have a lot of clients that come to us from another IDX, or you've just had a website for a long time that you don't have an IDX feed in there, but you have a lot of high traffic into that one specific community, neighborhood, area. I would suggest not using IDX Broker landing page for that because you don't want to ruin the SEO that you already have built up. Everybody knows SEO takes time. It's not the easiest things. Things change so often. When you embed a widget, so go create a predefined search based off of that area, neighborhood, or community that you have, create a widget in a showcase, embed that into your page that you already have. It's not going to ruin any SEO that you already have created for that. All it's going to do is add SEO. So every widget is indexable with Google once it crawls it, because it does still recognize it that it's all going to go to your root domain. So I suggest using both, not just one or the other. Property update emails go into spam. What can be done? That's kind of a tricky question. That's going to be on a case-by-case basis from what I have understood. If you're seeing that as an issue, please reach out to our support team and have them look into that. They can create a ticket. We can see if it's something that's on our system side. We can go through our QA system. Other than that, it also could be a system that's an error, not an error. It's a setting that the receiving client has set up. So it could be something done by, Gmail, any of their other mail servers, whatever it could be that problem. So how do you customize property emails that are sent out? That could be done with the subheader. So if we go into designs, website, and we're going to go to subheaders, these are going to be under categories and property updates. Oh, I have mine under properties, under properties. So the email that we saw that I sent out, it has my beach chairs, it's got my name on it, and up here, so here's going to be what's up on top. The template is all going to be currently what you saw, so this kind of just plain, not very much stylization. However, that is a feature that is rolling out. That is one that's going to be rolling out in the very near future. I don't have a time frame. We were kind of hoping that it's going to be done in the first half, so we're getting very close to that, so maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks. We are going to have some new templates for all those pages that go out, and they look very sharp. I've seen some images of them, both mobile and on desktop. They look very sharp, very clean. I build local neighborhood pages that dynamically update listings via an embed widget for carousels, etc., and build lead capture CTAs within that content. Just wondering the fastest load plugin versus widget code embed. Once a results page is loaded, it's going to be very quick. It's just a pop-up modal. Typically, if you're going to be using a call to action for a lead capture off of a widget, most likely that's going to still be using the global registration rules on a details page that's going to pop up after a certain amount of details page visits. Both of those are probably going to run about the same speed realistically. Will this webinar be sending this? Okay, so yes, this webinar is recorded and is going to be set up on our YouTube channel. It does take about 2 days. So today's Tuesday, we should be receiving it on Thursday. Here's how you find that information. So you go to idxbroker.com. If you scroll down to the very bottom, this is the easiest way I send people to it. Go to YouTube icon. It's going to start playing, so I'm going to stop it right away. Stop. Easiest thing to do is go to the videos tab, and all of our newest webinars is going to be up in the top left corner. So newest to oldest is going to start cycling its way down. Also, the newest is going to also have the newer design template of our IDX Broker dashboard within it. Jenny, that one's kind of an off-topic thing, but just kind of a brief description of what that's going to be. Coming soon is not necessarily something that's done directly within our system. It's actually not through too many IDX vendors yet, but I've heard a rumor that that could be happening. Your best bet, like you said, is to go through the supplemental. So, all right, guys, it is 11:45. That's a long webinar. Hopefully everybody's still okay and awake in here. Thank you for joining me. And Gretchen, you guys have a great afternoon. Looking forward to our future webinars. Have a great day.